Good afternoon, my loves. Welcome back to Maverick Baking and welcome back to another, hopefully, joyous chocolate review. Who are we talking about today though? We are talking about a brand called FATSO. So we have 3 bars that we're going to taste today. Morning Glory, Nan's Stash and Home Run. The packaging I think is just beautiful. Their whole gimmick is, as the name suggests, that this is big, thick, chunky chocolate, which could be hit or miss with dark chocolate. We're gonna find out. We're gonna be trying the Morning Glory, which is cornflake, toast, and marmalade, followed by the Home Run made with salted pretzel, whole almond, and honeycomb. And then we're gonna be trying Nan's Stash, which is peanut, toffee, and digestive biscuit. We're going to start, as I said, with this one here. So love the design. I think the colors are beautiful. The gold is a nice touch. These were not cheap. I'll be honest, they were over £5 a bar, but it is also a 150 gram bar. So pretty big. Get into it so that you can see FATSO. And you can see lots of those big chunky inclusions on the back there too. Let's see if it gives us that breakfasty cereal, toast and marmalade vibe. You can see some little kind of crunchy pieces in there. Let's see how it is. Immediate, super orangey flavor. And a nice kind of balanced taste from that dark chocolate. It's nothing too bitter, nothing kind of burnt tasting, as many kind of cheaper dark chocolates can be. I have to say, the orange flavor isn't giving marmalade because, marmalade is a very specific kind of bitter orange flavor for a reason. And this is giving much more just dark chocolate with orange peel, which is delicious, but calling it marmalade is, not a million miles away, but also not quite there. The crunchiness, I would say, is also quite generic and it's nice. The chocolate itself is nice. The texture is good. There's a little bit of chewy. There's smooth. There's crunchy, obviously. But did I know that those were pieces of toast in there? Did I know that they were cornflakes specifically in there? Not so much. If you just told me that this was a crunchy dark chocolate orange bar, you would have described it pretty well and I would have agreed with you. It's by no means unpleasant. It's not necessarily misleading. It's just that, I've seen similar kind of bar flavors before, wanting to do the kind of toast thing. Some fantastic examples are the Pump Street Bakery sourdough and the rye bread chocolate that they do. You properly taste the bread in there. It's delicious. Similarly, the Hogarth buttered toast bar is one of the best things I've ever tasted. They're a brand from New Zealand. This one is more just crunch, it's more just texture than actual flavor. So does it remind me of toast and marmalade? Nah. Does it remind me of breakfast? Not so much. Is it a nice dark chocolate bar with crunchy bits and an orange flavor? Yeah. So I think based on that, while I love the packaging, I love the size, and it's not bad, but it's not quite perfect or nailing the brief. So I would give that a 3 out of 5. Shall we move on? We have here the second FATSO bar. This is the Home Run. This is salted pretzel, whole almond, and honeycomb. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be like sports game snack inspired. So from this one, we can expect, again, a 60% dark chocolate. We also have pretzel pieces in here, cocoa butter, honeycomb granules, very small amount of almonds, only 3%, though it does say they're whole. So we take out, looking pretty kind of similar to the previous bar. This one you can see a little bit less chunkiness on the back, kind of where those inclusions are, but we have the same logo on the front. Impressively has stayed in one piece again. This one has a slightly more intriguing smell, and as you kind of crack into it, you can see that there are a couple of kind of inclusions in there. You can see the edge of a pretzel. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, this is very interesting. Much more complex in terms of flavor and an absolutely gorgeous amount of salt in there. Okay, compared to the previous bar, the dark chocolate flavor is much, much more prominent here. It's not being covered by that kind of candied peel or that orange flavoring. So the first kind of crunch through, the first bite, because it would take me an hour and a half to review these if I let them melt completely. It's very intense with dark chocolate. And it's unusual because typically dark chocolate is not presented in big thick pieces like this. It comes in long skinny kind of rectangles instead, usually for a reason, because dark chocolate, when it's not allowed to melt or to kind of coat your mouth, can seem very bitter initially until the kind of fat melts and helps you taste things properly. As you chew though, it's like your whole tongue starts popping with flavor because there's a perfect amount of salt in there. A lot of the time when companies want to do salted chocolate or salted caramel, anything like that, they're scared to add a good salty amount of salt. These guys haven't been scared at all. While I wouldn't say you would necessarily immediately guess it's pretzel flavored, you bite in, there's that kind of creamy chocolate, salty flavor, and then a nice savory crunch in there. The almond you get a little bit. The pretzel, as I say, is more of a just kind of savory, crunchy texture. I don't think the honeycomb is particularly prominent, but it may just be in there to kind of balance out the salt. I would say this one has definitely kind of piqued my interest and my want to go back for more so than the previous bar, and is definitely less like other things you can find on the market. And it's doing almost all of what it says on the packaging. So I'd be happy to give this one a more polite 4 out of 5. This one I am also pretty sure would be fabulous chopped up and baked into some really good homemade cookies, but that's a problem for another day. Shall we move on to the final bar here? Now this is going to be the darkest of the dark chocolate that we have from FATSO today. So this is going to be 70%. Now the others were nice and strong. You know, a square or two of those would be fine, which again also kind of helps justify the price, because 150 grams of a super strong chocolate that you can't eat in 1 or 2 sittings makes it a bit more kind of justifiable. So from this one, we can expect peanut, toffee, and digestive biscuits. With toffee pieces, there's also going to be roasted salted peanuts and digestive biscuit in equal measures by the look of it, all about 3% of the bar itself. But I'm going to be very interested to see how all 3 of those things play with dark chocolate. I think it's good that they're putting it into dark chocolate, because that in a milk chocolate bar would be probably overwhelmingly sweet, but let's have a look. It also tells us on this one that this is 100% biodegradable plastic, which is good. Again, pretty much identical to the previous bar. This one obviously looking a little bit darker in colour, and as expected, the inclusions are kind of more few and far between. You can't actually see any of them on the back there. Let's see how it is. We have good, we have bad here. The good is that the chocolate itself is delicious. It's a nice, smooth, balanced dark chocolate that isn't too bitter. As I said, doesn't have that burnt taste that kind of big name dark chocolates can have. It's nicely smooth. It doesn't leave a kind of sickly feeling. It isn't overly sweet. It's a really nice, well-rounded 70% dark chocolate. But those inclusions are, sadly, in my opinion, lost in it. Lost. In that mouthful there were tiny crunchy pieces of stuff. And that's all I could get. All I can taste is that lovely, intense chocolate and some wee crunchy bits, some wee crunchy pieces in there. Does it taste like peanut? Not really. Did it taste like toffee? Not really. Did it taste like digestive biscuit? No. It felt like crunchy biscuit pieces. Kind of like in the first bar, you know, the orange flavor was there, the crunchy bits were just crunchy bits. Same vibes here. And that is disappointing, because the chocolate itself is so delicious. The packaging is gorgeous, the way it's done, the idea, great. But it is feeling, especially this one, a little bit style over substance, in my opinion. Whether it's because the pieces are so thick and chunky that the inclusions are just lost, your mouth just cannot find them. I ate that one even more slowly than I ate the other two because of the strength of the cocoa, but still, I like it. I would happily sit and eat another couple of squares of this. It's a nice product, but as a peanut, toffee and digestive biscuit bar, it's not quite hitting it. So much like the first one, happy to recommend it as a tasty chocolate bar, but at that price, it is, as I say, feeling a little bit more like style over substance. Great idea, not executed perfectly. So that's going to be another 3 out of 5 for me. If you guys have seen these bars before, if you've tried them, if you know anything about them, do let me know, especially my lovely viewers based in England or in the UK in general, because, you know, this appears to be where these guys are from. I've enjoyed today's video. I've enjoyed trying these and I'm glad I picked them up, but definitely not quite what I was expecting. Let me know what you think. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you for the next one.